Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Aula Fitria Zahra, and in this opportunity, I would like to present you one of successful entrepreneur in the world. He is Steve Jobs. Who is Steve Jobs? Yes, he is an American business executive, computer programmer, and entrepreneur. He is co-founder of Apple Computers. With his vision of affordable personal computers, he launched one of the largest industries of the past decades while still in his early 20s. He remains one of the most inventive and energetic minds in American technology. Stephen Jobs was born 24 February 1955 in San Francisco, California, and was adopted by Paul and Clara Jobs. He grew up with one sister, Patty. Paul Jobs was a machinist and fixed cars as a hobby. Jobs remembered his father as being very skilled at working with his hands. In 1961, the family moved to Mountain View, California. This area, just south of Palo Alto, California, was becoming a center for electronics. Electronics form the basic elements of devices such as radios, televisions, stereos, and computers. At the time, people started to refer to the area as Silicon Valley. This is because a substance called silicon is used in the manufacturing of electronic parts. As a child, Jobs preferred doing things by himself. He swam competitively but was not interested in team sport or other group activities. He showed an early interest in electronics and gadgetry. He spent a lot of time working in the garage workshop of the neighbor who worked at Hewlett-Packard, an electronic manufacturer. Jobs also enrolled in the Hewlett-Packard Explorer Club. There he saw engineers demonstrated new products and he saw his first computer at the age of 12. He was very impressed and knew right away that he wanted to work with the computer. After graduating from high school in 1972, Jobs attended Reed College in Portland, Oregon for 2 years. He dropped out after one semester to visit India and study Eastern religions in the summer of 1974. In 1975, Jobs joined a group known as the Homebrew Computer Club. One member, a technical whiz named Steve Wozniak, was trying to build a small computer. Jobs became fascinated with the marketing potential of such a computer. In 1976, he and Wozniak formed their own company. They called it Apple Computer Company, in memory of a happy summer Jobs had spent picking apples. They, they raised $1,300 in startup money by selling Jobs' Microbus and Wozniak's calculator. At first, they sold circuit boards, the boards that hold the internal components of a computer, while they worked on the computer prototype sample. Jobs had realized there were a huge gap in the computer market. At that time, almost all computers were mainframes. They were so large that one could fill a room, and so costly that individuals could not afford to buy them. Advance in electronics, however, meant that computer components were getting smaller and the power of the computer was increasing. Jobs and Wozniak redesigned their computer with the idea of selling it to the individual users. The Apple II went to market in 1977 with impressive first-year sales of $2.7 million. The company's sales grew to $200 million within 3 years. This is one of the most phenomenal cases of corporate growth in U.S. history. Jobs on Jobs and Wozniak had opened an entirely new market: personal computers. Personal computers began an entirely new way of processing information. By 1980, the personal computer era was well underway. Apple was continually forced to improve its products to remain ahead as more competitors entered the marketplace. Apple introduced the Apple III, but the model suffered technical and marketing problems. It was withdrawn from the market and was later reworked and reintroduced. Jobs continued to be the marketing force behind Apple. Early in 1983, he unveiled the Lisa. It was designed for people possessing minimal computer experience. It didn't sell well, however, because it was more expensive than personal computers sold by competitors. Apple's biggest competitor was International Business Machines (IBM). By 1983, it was estimated that Apple had lost half of its market share. The Macintosh. In 1984, Apple introduced a revolutionary new model, the Macintosh. The on-screen display had small picture called icon. To use the computer, the user points at an icon and clicks the button using a new device called a mouse. This process made the Macintosh very easy to use. The Macintosh didn't sell well to business, however. It lacked features other personal computers had, such as a corresponding high-quality printer. The failure of the Macintosh signaled the beginning of Jobs' downfall at Apple. Jobs resigned in 1985 from the company he had helped found, though he retained his title as chairman of its board of directors. Jobs soon hired some of his former employees to begin a new computer company called Next. Late in 1988, the Next computer was introduced at a large gala event in San Francisco, aimed at the educational market. Initial reactions were generally good. The product was very user-friendly and had a fast processing speed, excellent graphic display, and an outstanding sound system. Despite the warm reception, however, the Next machine never caught on. It was too costly, had a black and white screen, and couldn't be linked to other computers or run common software. Next was not, however, the end of Steve Jobs. In 1986, Jobs purchased a small company called Pixar from filmmaker George Lucas. Pixar specialized in computer animation. 9 years later, Pixar released Toy Story, a huge box office hit. Pixar later went on to make Toy Story 2 and Bugs Life, which Disney distributed, and Monster. All these films have been extremely successful. Monster had the largest opening weekend ticket sales of any animated film in history. In December of 1996, Apple purchased Next Software for over $400 million. Jobs returned to Apple as a part-time consultant to the Chief Executive Officer (CEO). The following year, in the surprising event, Apple entered into a partnership with its competitor Microsoft. The two companies, according to the New York Times, agreed to cooperate on several sales and technology fronts. Over the next 6 years, Apple introduced several new products and marketing strategies. In November 1997, Jobs announced Apple would sell computers directly to users over the internet and by telephone. The Apple Store became a runaway success. Within a week, it was the third largest e-commerce site on the internet. In September of 1997, Jobs was named interim CEO of Apple. In 1998, Jobs announced the release of the iMac. which feature powerful computing at an affordable price. The iBox was unveiled in July 1999. This is a clamshell laptop that is available in bright colors. It includes Apple's AirPort, a computer version of the cordless phones that would allow the users to surf the internet wirelessly. In January 2000, Jobs unveiled Apple's new internet strategy. It included a group of Macintosh-only internet-based applications. Jobs also announced that he was becoming the permanent CEO of Apple. In February 1996 Time magazine article, Jobs said, "The thing that drives me and my colleagues is that you see something very compelling you, that you don't quite know how to get it, but you know, sometimes intuitively. It's within your grasp, and it's wrong putting in years of your life to make it come into existence." Jobs has worked hard to translate his idea into exciting and innovative products for business and customers. He he was instrumental in launching the age of the personal computer. Steve Jobs is truly a computer industry visionary. The resurgence of Steve's cancer was a painful reminder that it was time to put his affairs in order. Before his passing, and he did, he made sure that Apple was ready to operate without him. In late 2008, he hired the dean of the Yale School of Management to create Apple University, a sort of internal business track to groom future Apple executives by exposing them to the Apple ways of doing business. Through actual case studies in the history of the company, he also consolidated his executive team and agreed with the board that his natural successor would be his second-in-command COO Tim Cook. Finally, at his last public appearance in June 2011, he unveiled his plans for the future Apple campus in Cupertino, a huge spaceship site building in the shape of a perfect circle. All of this was in place when, because of his increasingly deteriorating health, he resigned as Apple CEO on August 24, 2011. Jobs also prepared his personal legacy. In 2009, he finally started giving interviews to journalist Walter Isaacson to prepare for his first and only authorized biography, giving him his perspective on his life and career. He also spent his last days designing a boat for his family on which he hoped to travel the world. Unfortunately, that took that took him too soon, and he died peacefully at home on October 5, 2011, surrounded by his family the day following the introduction of the iPhone 4S, and Apple even that he watched from his deathbed. And this is one of the quotes from Steve Jobs: "Innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower." Okay, I think that's all from me. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye bye.